同学们好，今天和老师一起学习第15课 Lesson 15，他去上海了的语法 Grammar Part 2第2部分。首先 First of all, let's look at this complement of state. From this lesson, you will get to know some structure we actually can put after verb. Before everything to modify the verb, for example, time, location, the means, and the methods, and be together with somebody, we all put all those expressions before the verb. But today, you can see there are structures we can put after the verb. All those structures we put after verb to modify the verb, we call them complement in grammar. And the first kind of complement I introduced today is the complement of state. So we look at the form of it. First, you will have an ordinary verb, any verb. Most of them, they are the do verbs. For example, 来 come, and 住 stay in some sort of accommodation. After the verb, you have to use a particle, which is 的. We call it particle because itself doesn't mean anything, and we have to use it in a sentence, and it plays a function as a grammatical function, and this kind of word doesn't have any meaning. We call them particles. And after this 的, we can see there might be an adverb, something like 很, 非常, or 太, and afterwards there is another adjective. So this is the pattern of the complement of state. 很早, very early, somehow we can put it after the verb 来, and that means come very early. So this adjective phrase to modify the verb, don't forget you have to use 的 to connect them. In this case, this is a complement of state. 来得很早, come early. So the state, meaning the status of the verb. And this kind of complements, we have to use 的 to connect them. In the future, you will get to know other kinds of complements than without 的. So you have to really identify whether the complement is about the status, the state, or not. Another example, 住得不好. 不 is the negative form. Be careful. This kind of complement, if it's negative, stay not so well, the negative form, we have to put it before the adjective. Stay, talking about accommodation wise, stay not so well, not so good. So we look at the sentence, 他不来得很早. In this case, the negative form before the verb, then this sentence is wrong. You cannot say in this way. If you want to make complement of state, make the verb negative, the negative form have to put it before the adjective. For example, 我住得好, I stay well. 我住得不好, I stay not well. This is the complement of state. And we look at some other forms. Complement of state, we can also use them to make questions, yes or no question. How? We look at the form. First, it's still the complement of state, verb plus the adjective. And maybe there could be put adverbs before it, up to you. But afterwards, yes or no, we put a negative form after the positive form. And only the adjective we put positive and negative. Meaning the verb you cannot change positive and negative. For example, 玩得好 meaning play pretty well. And if you want to make the question play well or not, we have to use 不好 as the negative form. 玩得好不好? Play, talking about the play, well or not. Same as this one, 发展得快 develop very fast. And make 快 negative, 不快. Then you have this yes or no question. Develop fast or not. Next form. If the complement of state, you want to use an object, then somehow you have to put the object before the verb. So the form is subject first, as usual, and the original verb and the object. And you have to repeat the original ones again, and together with the complement parts. For example, we look at this sentence first. The original sentence is 他们说普通话. They speak Mandarin. So this is the sentence as we are very familiar with. Subject, verb, object. However, if you want to use complement of state together with this verb, you have to repeat the verb once again and the complement part. 他说普通话说得很好. And because this 说 is repeated here, so somehow the original place, the first verb, you can omit it. And meaning, if you don't say this 说, 他们普通话说得很好 is a good sentence as well. We look at the first sentence. 他来得很早. This is the complement we know. He comes early. And this early is the status of 来, come. So you have to use 的 connects with the adjectival phrase. He comes early. 上海发展得快不快? Yes or no question. Fast or not? Shanghai has developed fast or not? 他们说普通话说得很好. Or the original verb omitted, don't mention again. 老师语法教得不快. So meaning, 说 is the verb, the first verb, and the 普通话 is the object. But if 语法 is the object, then the first verb 教 somehow omitted, no need to repeat anymore. Then that means teacher teaches grammar not so fast. If you say 教 here, it's not wrong as well. 老师教语法教得不快. But because it's repeated, so you don't have to say the first. 老师语法教得不快. And that's the complement of state. Next, the grammar feature is about duplication, right? Reduplication of a verb. In Chinese language, especially in the oral language, we intend to duplicate the verb. Somehow means do it for a while, do it casually, or sometimes just to soften the tone. For example, 看. Most of the time in oral language, we can say it as 看看, 看一看, or 看一下. But if the verb is more than one character, then 我们 also can duplicate as 介绍介绍 or 介绍一下. Somehow this form is not applicable. We cannot say 介绍一介绍. We have to say 介绍介绍 or 介绍一下. This form we cannot apply anymore. And another one, 复习汉语 together with an object, simply still after the verb, or 复习一下汉语 revise the Mandarin. And that's the grammar for today. Thank you everyone. 谢谢大家。